Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very talky episode from the Realm of Vasten. Hey, so I was talking to a couple folks on Discord, and so some big supporters of the channel. Big supporters. This is just tonight that I was talking to them, and let me. It was Athros and Jason, who are huge supporters. I mean, those guys are everywhere. And I was talking about the story. Said, hey, so the story. Are you? I mean, quite frankly, are you following it? Whatever. And both of them, and these are huge supporters, said, yeah, I'm a little confused. I'm having trouble, whatever. So my thinking is, if they're confused, because that doesn't bode well for, people who maybe don't catch every episode and stuff like that. So I have a question of the day, a viewer question of the day, that I would love to have answered in the comments. Right now is, are you enjoying the story? Are you enjoying the storyline? Is this something that you want to see continue? Now, I know that people have said that resoundingly, hey, my favorite thing about Vasten is the lore and that kind of stuff and the story, but not necessarily. I've not heard that about the storyline, right? And I guess I want to know, is the storyline intros that are going on interesting to you? And if not, how would you like to see them change, or what would work for you personally? And I know everyone's different. I know everyone has different. Hey, by the way, we're just gonna be chopping down trees and shearing stuff and all that and collecting saplings and leaves. And I'll tell you why in just a few, but that's what's going on today. Talky, we're just gonna be talking. We're talking. So I just want to know, look, it's very personal. I know that no two people might agree on this, but if you're not really digging the storyline, what would work better for you? I'm open to suggestions. I would like this to be something that, I could tweak to make even better and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's the first question I have. And then the other thing I want to do today, I'm going to let these guys just sort of naturally degrade and get all their saplings here. Dark oak, they don't have a huge return on saplings, so every once in a while you can't, fairly frequently you can't shear them. You need to sort of let them go. And while we are here, I'm going to go get some shears. I forgot to get some shears over at the yurt. So that's the first thing. What we are doing here today, Callus and I started a project tonight. It was kind of accidental, actually. It wasn't really part of the plan, but we decided, what do these people eat in Celea? What crops can grow in the tundra? And I don't know the answer to that, actually. So I went on and I Googled it. And the very first thing I saw was bearberries. B-E-A-R-B-E-R-R-I-S, bearberries. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And then I looked at it and I Google imaged it. And it basically looks like kind of plants, like green plants that sort of just go along the ground. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. Like they kind of crawl along the ground kind of low and there's berries and you can eat that. And I thought, well, that would be really cool. What if they had a huge bearberry farm here? So that's what we're doing. So we experiment with a few different ideas and a few different possibilities. I'm just gonna grab 2 iron blocks. That should be enough for a little while of shears. And we tried dead bushes, which, by the way, we have a new recipe in Vasten. It's for dead bush. It's dead bush in the sign of a kind of a T, like a plus sign, not an X, a plus sign. And so I thought, why not make that resource renewable so we don't have to go and kill every dead bush in the desert? They give you sticks when you break them. Why couldn't you take sticks and make them, right? Or something. I don't know. Maybe it should be a sapling, like a sapling and a stick or something, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. Okay, so what is that sound I heard? I've heard that. Oh, it's the bear. Oh, I've heard that a couple times when I walked by the polar bear. I thought it was like my stomach or something. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so what I want to do today is I want to talk while I'm harvesting leaves for this bearberry patch, because it's going to be huge. You want to see how big it's going to be before we get going on the storyline stuff? Let's show you. Okay, so we laid out paths, and also the other nice thing about this bearberry patch is this can be a nice frame for the city. So basically, it's going to go all the way behind Sausage's house. Oh my goodness, Callus really went crazy on this. Okay, all right, wow, yeah. So it's gonna take in all of this. It's gonna be bearberry patch. Okay. I've been working for probably an hour on this much. So this is a huge project. It's a huge project and we have a lot to go. So I'm just using the outside of this for trees because again, I need to really make sure I grab every sapling. And my little rule of thumb is every time I get 16 saplings, then I'm shearing. So that way I don't go below 16. Dark oak, spruce is fine. One spruce tree will drop like a ton of saplings. So anyway, yeah, so let's just continue on that and let's start talking storylines. So here's the thing. When I started doing the storylines, inspired sort of by Home and Grumpy Owl, which he does a big giant scripted with voice acting and the whole thing. And I don't do that, although I have been doing some voices just so you can tell who characters are, because I think the reason why I started doing some voices, it's not because I like doing it totally honestly. I think I sound ridiculous most of the time, but the reason why I started doing it is because it's tiring to be like, Father Chody said, Jack said, Father Chody said, Jack said, right? So if you do voices, you can skip that part of the dialogue, right? If you just do like, and then I did the, I wasn't prepared. Excuse me. Hold on. I was underprepared for Father Chody's voice. It takes a little bit out of you. But you know what I mean? If you do like, and then I did this, then I don't have to say Father Chody said. It's just, that's the voice that you have come to expect from him, right? Makes sense. So it's kind of a time saver. It lets things flow a little bit better, that kind of thing. You know, I've been offered, people have offered to come in and do voices, which I think tells me that they think that my voices are terrible, which is fine. I can take it. I can bring it. I can take all the criticism. But I've decided that I don't want to do that. And full transparency, the reason why is because, Grumpy is a good friend of mine. And, I think that, if I were to have other people do voices, that would be, it'd be less inspired by and more completely taken, like an intro cinematic storyline thing with voice acting from, and I just don't feel that's right. So I'm just not going to do that. But so you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me and my ridiculous accents. Now, I think that in season 2, for the most part, the stories that I was doing were sort of documentary style, you know? It was like, the Wicked Quill is a ship that goes from blah, blah, blah. It leaves every day, and the captain is this name and blah, 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 you know? And that stuff's fine, and that's how I started, and I think that's okay. I think that it's a little dry and a little bit less interesting than following characters on a story. So then I sort of naturally transitioned into doing a little bit more. I know I've mentioned this before, but if you're ever planting spruce and you want the 2x2 spruce, they will not grow with snow layers next to them, just so you know. So that's why if you dig down like this, then you're safe to grow them to your heart's content, and they'll grow. Okay. Anyway, so then I switched to stories, right? And for a little while, I had a few people who were writing stories for me, which was really nice, and I really liked them, and that's still a possibility. So folks, if you're ever really feeling writing a story, hit me on Discord, and I'd be happy to try to include that, as best we can. But we're going to get to where that's heading in a minute, because what I was doing is I was bouncing back and forth between 2 or even 3 storylines per episode. So, one episode would be a story by Its Echo, and then one episode would be a story by Siloncraft, and then back, and then I'd take a break and do a story by me, and all those are different characters, even different times. Its Echo's story happens in the second, first age, I think. It's kind of time travel story, but it's quite a difference from nowadays, right? Siloncraft's story was all about the Explorers Guild, and it's great, but bouncing back and forth, I think, was very, very confusing. Wow, that's a big one. Okay. So then I kind of decided that was too confusing. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to write a story, and we're just going to follow along one group of characters, and that turned into the story that you heard for about 15 episodes or so, maybe 12 episodes, which I would like to say people enjoyed, and that was Ferdinand's story. Basically, it started with Ferdinand's ship being attacked by the Wicked Quill, and I'm gonna need to do this. Okay. Oh no. Okay, so we have a pressure plate. Let's just throw it away. Fine. Oh, I can't even throw it away. Throw away a pressure plate. I don't even want you. So Ferdinand's story was his ship was attacked by pirates, and then is this gonna be super loud? Oh man, I wasn't thinking. I was doing a music live stream, and I bet my settings are crazy loud. Sorry, Windows ding. Okay. Oh man, I hope the whole clip's not messed up. Let me listen and make sure. All right, I think we're good. I don't think it was too bad. I did leave it down just a little bit. So okay, so we followed Ferdinand for like 12 to 15 episodes or so, and he was attacked by pirates, and he was saved by a mysterious ship of frost druids, and he decided that he was going to set out and find Saleya. So he ended up hooking up and being, in fact, then later trained by a ranger who he had originally hired to get him to White Sands. And then the ranger got a secret dispatch, a secret set of orders that he needed to go to Saleya too. So he and Ferdinand sort of joined forces. And then he recognized something in the boy that was good, that could be used or exploited or whatever have you. And Ranger Thawkins decided to start training Ferdinand as a ranger. So also there's some other mysterious things about Ranger Thawkins. Ranger Thawkins, they ran into Sage Recon, who, Sage Recon appeared a long time ago, a lot of episodes ago, from the Order of Man, a sage from the Order of Man, and he had been rescued by Thawkins from the wilderness when he was a boy, and he mentioned just very casually to Ferdinand that Thawkins is very, very, very old, and that's weird, right? Because well, that's something that wasn't just happenstance. That's something that's going to be part of the story. So now Sage Recon, who basically he had an artifact, which we found out that there are very few artifacts in this world, and he took an artifact. He had an artifact, and it was stolen by bandits. And the artifact was the Arrow of Thaleya. I'm talking off the top of my head, so if I'm humming and num, it's because I'm trying to remember all these words that we've come up with. So the Arrow of Thaleya is something that will always point to Saleya. I kind of wish they didn't rhyme, to be honest, but that ship has sailed, and it is what it is. So the Arrow of Thaleya will always point to Saleya. It's one of the ways to find this place, because this place used to have a road to it. They used to accept all people coming in, and they no longer do. And the reasoning why, it might be a little bit mysterious. That's maybe something that we're gonna find at a future time. But so it's really hard. Once you get into the tundra, the road gets really windy and twisty, and it disappears in different parts, and it's hard to find. So they really needed this artifact to sort of guide them through the frozen tundra. So basically, Sage Recon, on the mission to go get the Arrow of Thaleya back from some pillagers. We included some pillagers from 114 in the storyline. I think that's kind of fun. He unfortunately, two of the three townspeople who went with them, who he kind of recruited to go help, two of them died to pillagers. And basically at that point, the townspeople were kind of over Sage Recon. So Sage Recon decided it was time for him to leave Monument to the Fallen. And he's basically with the group. So Ranger Thawkins, Ferdinand, the boy who's being trained as a ranger. And also another thing we discovered about Ranger Thawkins is he is a master ranger. What does that mean? We don't know yet, but he gave up the title of master ranger. I think it was called master. Anyway, he was like a high up ranger. He gave it up, and we don't know why yet. And he's very, very, very old is all we know about Ranger Thawkins. He's pretty gruff. He drinks a lot, and he's training Ferdinand as a ranger. And now Sage Recon, who he's known for a very long time. And also Sage Recon has some skills. He was a boy in the southern wilds, we called it. That's not really a thing that we've explored very much yet in this world. But he has some skills where he can seemingly move through the forest silently. So what's up with Sage Recon? So there's some mysteries that we've set up that we're going to explore later on. I kind of am pacing myself so that the storyline comes to an epic conclusion at the end of this season. My idea has morphed into that we're going to have basically one story per season. So this is the story for this season. Now, there's another part of this story though, and the other part is where we went to recently, and I think that maybe that's where I lost people, because there's various things. I lost people because people just said, "Hey, you lost me there." Viewer numbers. Is something that I am aware of and stuff, and that they always do fall off as a series goes longer and longer. But I wonder if the storyline has something to do with it and that kind of stuff. So let me catch you up. So there's another ranger, and this ranger's not especially old. He's older, but not ancient or something. And his name is Ranger. Wait. Oh no, I forgot his name. Jack. Okay, hold on. Let me back up while I get his name, because it's not coming to me offhand. Even though I just say it so often during these storylines. Okay, I need to find a chest. We're over this way. Okay, so there's the boy Jack, who, in the town of Tanis, which is where our mending villager is, in the town of Tanis, a cabin appeared one night, and 3 boys went in. They sort of broke into the cabin to just see, shenanigans. Boys will be boys and all that stuff. Well, while they were broken into it, okay, why don't we make a chest here? Let's do that. While they were broken into it, they were gone for 3 days, I think we established, or something along those lines. Well, when they finally came back, only one came back, and the one who came back was off. He wasn't normal. Something had changed in him. And his name is Jack. And he's a boy who's very shaken. And during those days that they're gone, townspeople in Tanis started disappearing, and no one knows why. So when word got out about that, Father Chody of the Church of the End, in our thing, the Church of the End is the closest thing to, I guess you could consider, the Catholic Church. I guess kind of they sort of shepherd people. They have a lot of. They're the Church of the End. They worship the End, so in that way they're not like the Catholic Church. They worship the End, but they're sort of they're the most traditional church in our way of thinking, right? From our culture. So that's one thing, and then. Father Chody heard that there were people missing in Tanis, people going missing. So he thought, well, it's my responsibility. It's not terribly far from here, so I should go, and I should go explore and try to figure out what the heck is going on. So he went and hired a ranger. Well, I don't think he even had to hire him, because I think rangers also have a duty within their area when stuff they're charged. Rangers are hired by King Danao to sort of run that area, and they have a charge. If they notice, they're kind of like lawmen. They do work for contracts and things as well, but they're generally good. That's kind of how we think of rangers, right? So Father Chody went down to the Explorers Guild and hired a ranger. Or told a ranger that there was problems in Tanis, and the 2 of them went to Tanis and found the boy Jack. Ranger Matol, thank you, brain, finally kicked in. Ranger Matol and Father Chody sort of became friends over this journey to Tanis, and decided that they would figure out what is going on with Tanis. So they found the boy Jack, and by the time they get there, the entire town is all gone. Everyone's abandoned. Everyone's missing. Not abandoned, just missing from Tanis, except for the boy Jack. They find him, and he's shaken, he doesn't know what is happening. So they take Jack back to Travail, the nearby town, and one night Jack, sort of in a trance, starts walking off towards Tanis, and they're following him to figure out what the heck is going on. Once he walks into Tanis, now they had been in Tanis, they had been in the cabin of Tanis to look and see if there was anything going on, but they didn't notice anything, because it was just Ranger Matol and Father Chody. But when Jack went in with them, all of a sudden the cabin sort of came to life. The magic happened where they walk in this little 3-bedroom cabin, and all of a sudden the little 3-bedroom cabin is seemingly infinite in size. Like you walk in and there's huge hallways and all kinds of weird rooms and things like that. Well, Father Chody falls into one of the voids. He gets all freaked out by the whole thing, and he ends up falling into the void. We don't know where Father Chody went. He went the same place Jack's 2 friends went. They fell into the void as well. And that's something that we're going to have to find. We got to find Jack's friends. So that's going to be part of the story where we're looking for Jack's friends. We're looking for Father Chody. So Ranger Matol, who now, as the longer Jack's in the cabin, the more sort of out of it, or the more, the less out of it he becomes. Like he becomes sort of normal again. Like he's like coming back to it. Like almost like within the cabin, Jack is normal. So where we left off yesterday's episode, I'm putting these out probably, or 2 days ago maybe, where we left off just 2 days ago is Jack and Ranger Matol are in Tanis looking for both of his friends and now Father Chody, who's also missing. And they found a room that opens into basically snow, which shouldn't be. It's like outside. Like they open the door and it's outside and they're in snow. And they follow this road along and they find an old man. And last episode, the old man said like, Saleya welcomes all. Saleya, the Frost Druids will put you to work, but you can live here and be safe here, and we'll fight the Nether together, essentially, They walk up in like they're walking up to a very small frost tree of Saleya, a very small one, and a castle that's currently being built. And it's weird, but we're now Ranger Matol and Jack are in Saleya, but things are not as they appear, and that's where the storyline is. Now, what I want from you guys, I didn't do a storyline this episode, which is weird because I have every episode for a long time now, but I wanted to do kind of a storyline recap this episode, and it's way longer than a script can do. Am I the only one on? Oh, I have to sleep myself. Oh my goodness, I have been relying on everyone else to sleep for me for quite some time now. Okay, let's find a place. Anyway, so what I could use from you folks is let me know. Let me know. Do you enjoy the stories? What can I do better on the stories? What would you like to see? A few things are out, as we said, like bringing in other voice actors. That's just not something I'm willing to do for reasons that I discussed. But other than that, I would love to. Should I bail on the intros and just talk about the stories like now? I feel like writing them out for my hemming and hawing is a little bit better personally, but I would love to hear what you folks hear. You guys watch every episode I do, and that makes you just such good friends and good lovers of this world, as am I, and I'd like to see what you want out of it, right? So I'm looking for your opinion on this, and leave a comment on the video. You can hit me on Discord as well, but as I always talk about, comments on videos are really nice and helpful things for all of us doing the YouTube thing. It's always good. Comments and likes on videos, man, they're helpful things. Anyway, let me know. I'd love to hear your points of view on it, really, and then and we'll go from there. So I'm going to continue chopping down trees, continue just taking down, shearing, and wow, I just need so much. Right now I've just been replenishing my sapling stores because they get pretty low when you shear a lot, So anyway, I'm going to continue building this thing, and then hopefully maybe next episode it'll all be done and we can just talk about it, and then we'll get back to the Builders Guild, or the Mining Guild. Sorry, the Mining Guild as well. There's been some progress. I've been doing quite a few live streams, so you've probably seen, if you've been watching any of the live streams, you've probably seen more progress than what even happened last episode, because I had to have an episode in the tank for a little while because I was trying to figure out where the story's going to go. But anyway, so next episode we'll be back, because I'll probably record next episode before this comes out. So next episode we'll be back with Father Chody, who's missing, Ranger Matol, and Jack, and hopefully now you guys will know exactly where they are, what they're trying to do, and where the story is headed. Let me know, okay? We'll talk soon in the comments and on Discord. Subscribe to my friends, they're awesome people, and I'll see you all next episode from the Realm of Vasten III. Ooh, look at that site. Isn't that nice? Let's go a little closer. Oh man, that's a pretty thing. Okay, bye everybody.